Dear children, today we will see about geography. Last 5 lessons we learnt about our India. India locations, relief, drainage, climate and natural vegetation, then agriculture, resources and industries, population, transport, communication and trade. Now we will see about our Tamil Nadu. Okay, that lesson is Physical Geography of Tamil Nadu. The study of one's own region is the first step to become a global citizen. The purpose of studying our local territory is to understand life in our environment. In the last 5 lessons, we have learnt about various geographical characteristics of our country. In this lesson and those that follow, we shall learn about the geography of Tamil Nadu. We will get to know about the etymology, history of formation, location, size, physical divisions, rivers, climate, soil and natural vegetation of Tamil Nadu in this chapter. Its exquisite physiography and climate makes our state unique in India. It has long and sunny beaches, waterfalls, hills, forests and varied flora and fauna. Location and size. Tamil Nadu is one of the 28 states of India located in the southernmost part of the country. It extends from 8 degree 4 north to 13 degree 35 north latitudes and from 76 degree 18 east to 80 degree 20 east longitudes. Its extremities are in eastern Point Calimar, in western hills of Onimalai, in northern Pulicat Lake, in southern Cape Comorin. It covers an area of 1,30,058 square kilometer and is the 11th largest state in India. It covers 4% of the area of our country. Okay, next one we will see about boundaries and neighbors. Tamil Nadu is bounded by the Bay of Bengal in the east, Kerala in the west, Andhra Pradesh in the north, Karnataka in the northwest and Indian Ocean in the south. Gulf of Mannar and Palk Strait separate Tamil Nadu from the island of Sri Lanka, which lies to the southeast of India. The state has 940 km long coastline, the second longest in India after Gujarat. Okay, administrative divisions. Already we have learned that the state of Tamil Nadu had only 13 districts at the time of its formation. After that, the state was reorganized several times for the administrative convenience. At present, there are 37 districts in Tamil Nadu. But before 2 days, we know about that Mailadurai also came to district, isn't it? So 38 districts in Tamil Nadu, including the newly created districts as that is Kallakurichi, Tenkasi, Chengalpet, Ranipet and Tirupattur, newly again Mailadurai. Okay, the administrative divisions of the state are given in the following table. You look at the table. Okay, next one, physiographic divisions. Let's see the major physical features of Tamil Nadu and their characteristics. Tamil Nadu is located on the peninsular plateau known as Deccan Plateau. It is also a part of the ancient Gondwana land that broke away 135 million years ago during Cretaceous period. Tamil Nadu is divided into physical divisions of Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, plateaus, coastal and inland plains. Western Ghats. It extends from the Nilagiris in the north to Marunduval Malai at Swamitop in Kanyakumari district in the south. Height of the Western Ghats ranges from 2000 to 3000 meters. It covers an area of about 2500 square kilometer. Though the Western Ghats is a continuous range, it has some passes. The passes are Palghat, Sengota, Aralvaimozhi and Achangoil. The Nilgiris, Anemalai, Palani Hills, Cardamom Hills, Varsanadu, Andipatti and Agasthyar Hills are the major hills of Western Ghats. Okay, now we will see about one by one about hills. First one is Nilgiri Hills. It is located in the northern western part of Tamil Nadu. It consists of 24 peaks with more than 2000 meters height. Dotabetta is the highest peak of these hills, followed by Mukuruthi. Ooty and Kunnur are the major hill stations located on these hills. It has more than 2700 species of flowering plants and the state animal Nilgiri Tar is found in this hill. Next one, Anemalai. Anemalai is located in the border of the Tamil Nadu and Kerala. It is located to the south of Palgate Gap. Anemalai Tiger Reserve, Alia Reserved Forest, Valpara Hill Station, Kadamparai Hydroelectric Power Plant are located on these hills. Alia and Tirumurti dams are located at the foothills of this range. Palani Hills. Palani Hills are the eastward extension of the Western Ghats. These hills are located in Dindigul district. Vandaravu is the highest peak in the Palani Hills. Vembadi Chola is its second highest peak. The hill stations of Kodaikanal lies in the south central portion of the range. Next one is Cardamom Hills. These hills are also known as the Yelamala Hills, located in the southwestern part of Tamil Nadu. It acquires its name from the cardamom spice which is commonly grown here. Pepper and coffee or the other crops cultivated over these hills. They meet the Anemalai Hills in the northwest, the Palani Hills in the northeast and Varasanadu and Andipatti Hills in the southeast. Okay. Varasanadu and Andipatti Hills. Another eastward extension of Western Ghats is Varasanadu and Andipatti Hills. Meghamalai, that is the highway mountain. Kalugumalai, Kurangani Hill Station and Suruli and Kumbakarai waterfalls are found on these hills. Srivilliputtur Grizzled Squirrel Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the southern slope of these hills in Virudhunagar district. Vaigai River and its tributaries originate in this region. Then Podigai Hills. Its major part lies in Tirunelveli district with its southern slope in the Kanyakumari district. Podigai Hills are called with different names such as the Shivajoti Parvat, Agasthyar Hills and Southern Kailash. These hills feature richest biodiversity in the Western Ghats. This area is known for its rich evergreen forest, waterfalls and ancient temples. Kalakkad Mundandurai Tiger Reserve is located in this region. Let's see about last one, Mahendragiri Hills. This continuous range is situated along the border of Kanyakumari and Tirunelveli districts and is a part of the southern range of the Western Ghats. Its average height is 1645 meters. Next one. What is that? The Eastern Ghats. Like that, same like that, Western Ghats. Unlike Western Ghats, the Eastern Ghats is discontinuous because Western Ghats we saw about continuous hills, isn't it? Here Eastern Ghats is a discontinuous and irregular one. It is dissected at many places by the rivers which drain into the Bay of Bengal. Its height ranges from 1100 to 1600 meters. These hills separate the plains from plateaus. Javadu, Servarayan, the Kalroyan, the plains, these hills separate the plains from plateaus. Then Javadu, Servarayan, the Kalroyan, Kolimalai and Pachimalai are the major hills of the eastern gates of Tamil Nadu and are located in the northern district of this state. Okay, we will see about one by one. Javad Hills. These are an extension of the Eastern Ghats spread across parts of Vellore and Thiruvannamalai districts and separate these two districts. Many peaks with a height of 1100 to 1150 meters are located in this region. Melpatu is its highest peak. Many parts of this range are covered with bluish grey granites. It is noted for its fruit bearing trees, medicinal herbs, and sandalwoods. Due to illegal logging, sandalwood trees are disappeared now. Next one, Kalvaroyan Hills. The name Kalvaroyan comes from the word Karalar, the ancient name of the present tribes. It is another major range of hills in the eastern Ghats of Tamil Nadu. This range, along with the Pachimalai, Aralvai Malai, Javadu and Servarayan hills separates the rivers basins of Kaveri and Palar. This height of this hill ranges from 600 to 1220 meters. Next one is Servarayan Hills. It is a mountain range located near the Salem city with a height ranging from 1200 to 1006 to 620 meters. The name of the range comes from a local deity Servarayan. The highest peak in the southern part of the Eastern Ghats is located in this region. The peak is Solekarudu and its height is 1620 meters. The hill station Yerkad, which is known as the Poor Man's Ooty, is located on this region. Servarayan temple is its highest point, that is 1623 meters. Next one, Kolli Hills. It is a small mountain range located in Namakkal district. It covers an area of about 2,800 square kilometers. It rises up to 1,300 meters. This is a mountain range that runs almost parallel to the east coast of South India. Arpaleshwarar temple located on this range is an important pilgrim center. It has the largest cover of evergreen or a cholla forest when compared to the other parts of the Eastern Ghats. Several coffee plantations, fruits, flowers, and silver oak estates are found in this region. Last one, Pachimalai. It is the lowest hill range, spreads over the districts of Perambalur, Tiruchirappalli and Salem. In Tamil language, Pachai means green. The vegetation in this range is greener than the vegetative cover of the other hills in this region. Hence, it is named as Pachimalai. Jackfruit is a popular seasonal agricultural product of these hills. Next one, we will see about plateaus. Plateaus of Tamil Nadu are located between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. It is roughly triangular in shape and covers an area of about 60,000 square kilometers. Baramahal Plateau is a part of the Mysore Plateau situated in the northwestern part of Tamil Nadu. Its height ranges from 350 to 710 meters. Dharmapuri and Krishnagiri districts are located in this region. Coimbatore Plateau is between the Nilagiris and Dharmaburi districts. This height varies from 150 to 450 meters. This region includes Salem, Coimbatore and Erode districts. Moya river separates this plateau from the Mysore Plateau. Rivers like Bhavani, Noyal and Amravati, which originate from Western Ghats, form valleys in this region. Many intermontane plateaus are found in the region of the Nilgiris. Sigur Plateau is one such plateau. Madurai Plateau, found in Madurai district, extends up to the foothills of the Western Ghats. Vaigai and Tamrabarani basins are located in this zone. Next one, we will see about plains. The plains of Tamil Nadu may be divided into two, that namely inland plains and coastal plains. Inland plains are drained by the rivers Palar, Ponnayar, Kaveri and Tamrabarani. Kaveri Plains is one of the most important fertile plains of the state. The plains of Kaveri is found in Salem, Erode, Karur, Tiruchirappalli, Pudukkottai, Thanjavur, Thiruvarur and Nagapattinam district. Coastal plains of Tamil Nadu are also called Coromandel or Cholamandalam. That is a land of Cholas plain. Cholamandalam plains, which extends from Chennai to Kanyakumari. It is formed by the rivers that flow towards east drain in the Bay of Bengal. It is more than 80 kilometers wide at some place. Though it is an immersed coast, some parts are submerged into the sea. The sand dunes formed along the coast of Ramanathapuram and Thoothukudi districts are called Theri. Coral rocks are found at the head of Gulf of Mannar in the east coastal plain. Next one we will see about beaches. The Coromandel coast along the Bay of Bengal consists of many beautiful and exotic beaches. The golden sands of Tamil Nadu beaches are scattered with palm and casuarinas groves. Marina and Elliot beaches of Chennai, Kovalam beach in Kanjipuram and Silver beach in Kadalur are some of the famous beaches in Tamil Nadu. Next one we will see about the drainage. Drainage means here rivers. Rivers of Tamil Nadu or its lifeline. Though it has many rivers, the rivers of Kaveri, Palar, Ponnayar, Vaigai and Tamrabarani are the notable ones. Most of the rivers of Tamil Nadu originate from Western Ghats and flow towards east and drain into the Bay of Bengal. All the rivers of the state are non-perennial except Tamrabarani. It is perennial as it is fed by both the southwest and northeast monsoons. Okay, let's see about one by one river. Kaveri. The river Kaveri originates at Talakaveri in the Brahmagiri hills of Kodagu district of Karnataka in the Western Ghats. Total length of Kaveri river is 805 km. About 416 km of its course falls in Tamil Nadu. It serves as the boundary between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu for a distance of 64 km. It forms Hoggenakal waterfalls in Dharmaburi district. Then Mettur Dam also called as the Stanley Reservoir is located across this river in Salem district. A tributary called Bhavani joins Kaveri on the right bank about 45 km from the Mettur Reservoir. Thereafter, it takes easterly course to enter into the plains of Tamil Nadu. Two more tributaries, Noyal and Amravati, confluence the river on the right bank at Tirumukkudal, 10 km from Karur. The river is wider in this region where it is called as Ahandra Kaveri. In Tiruchirappalli district, the river branches into two parts. The northern branch is called Koldrun or Kolidam and the southern branch remains Kaveri. From here, the Kaveri Delta begins. After flowing for about 16 km, the two branches join again to form the Srirangam Island. The Grand Anaikut, also called as Kallanai, was built across the river Kaveri. After Kallanai, the river breaks into a large number of distributaries and forms a network all over the delta. The network of distributaries within the delta of Kaveri in the coast is called as the Garden of Southern India. It merges into Bay of Bengal to the south of Kadalur. Next one, Palar. First one already say about Kaveri. Then Palar. The Palar rivers rises beyond Talagavara village in the Kolar district of Karnataka. The Palar drains an area of 17,871 square kilometer, out of which nearly 57% lies in Tamil Nadu and the rest in the states of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Then Ponnai, Gaundinya, Nadi, Malattar, Cheyyar and Kiliyar are its major tributaries. Its total length is 348 km, out of which 222 km of its course falls in Tamil Nadu. It flows through the districts of Vellore and Kanjipuram before entering into Bay of Bengal near Kuvattur. Next one, the Pennayar or Pennayar or Ten Ponnayar. It too originates from the eastern slope of Nandi Durga hills in eastern Karnataka. It drains an area of 16,019 square kilometer, of which nearly 77% lies in Tamil Nadu. It flows for a distance of 247 km in the southeasterly direction in the districts of Krishnagiri, Dharmaburi, Vellore, Tiruvannamalai, Kadalur and Viluppuram. It branches into two vias, Gadilam and the Ponnayar near Tirukkoyilur Anaikut. Gadilam joins The Bay of Bengal near Kadalur and Ponnayar near the Union Territory of Puducherry. Chinnar, Markanda Nadi, Vaniyar and Pambar are its tributaries. Heavy rain at the river source caused sudden but short-lived floods. The river is extensively dammed for irrigation, especially in Tamil Nadu. There are reservoirs at Krishnagiri and Satanur across this river. The Ponnayar is considered scared by Hindus and festivals are held during the Tamil month of Thoi, that is January and February. Next one, Vaigai. Vaigai River rises from the eastern slopes of the Harshanadu hills of western gates of Tamil Nadu. It drains an area of 7,741 square kilometer, which lies entirely in the state of Tamil Nadu. It flows through the districts of Madurai, Sivaganga and Ramanathapuram. Its length is 258 kilometer. It discharges its water into the Ramnath big tank and some other small tanks. The surplus water from the tanks is finally discharged into Palk State near Ramanathapuram. Next one, Tamrabarani. The name is interpreted as a Thamiram, that is copper, and Varuni, that is streams of river. The water of this river gives a copper-like appearance due to the presence of dissolved suspended red soil. It originates from a peak in Podigai Hills on the western Ghats above Papanasam in the Ambasamutram Taluk. The origin of the river is associated with the sage Agasthyar. It courses through the districts of Tirunelveli and Thoothukudi and finally flow into the Bay of Bengal near Punnaikoyal in Thoothukudi district. Karayar, Servalar, Manimuttar, Gadana Nadi, Pachayar, Sittar and Ramanadi are its main tributaries. It is the only perennial river in South India. Okay, major waterfalls in Tamil Nadu. You look at this table. Next one we will see about climate of Tamil Nadu. Okay, Tamil Nadu climate. You have already learnt that the Tropic of Cancer divides India roughly into two equal parts of the state. Tamil Nadu lies to the south of Tropic of Cancer, which is near the equator. As it receives vertical sunrays, the temperature of the state is relatively high throughout the year. Though the state falls within the hot climate zone, the east coast of Tamil Nadu enjoys tropical maritime climate. The Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean influences the climate of the coastal regions. While the east coast experiences tropical maritime climate, the western region of the state enjoys the mountainous climate. Low altitude and distance from the sea are the reasons for high temperature and dry conditions in the central part of Tamil Nadu. The migration of vertical sunrise leads to the formation of different seasons in Tamil Nadu as follows. You can see in the table seasons of Tamil Nadu. Winter season period January and February. Summer season March to May. Southwest monsoon June to September. Northeast monsoon October to December. Okay, first one we will see about winter season. Winter season. During January and February, the vertical rays of the sun fall between the Tropic of Capricorn and the equator. Hence, Tamil Nadu and India on the whole receive slanting rays from the sun. So, the weather is slightly cooler during these months. Winter temperature is Tamil Nadu varies from 15 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. However, in the hill stations, the winter temperature drops below 5 degrees Celsius occasionally. Some valleys in the Nilgiris record even 0 degrees Celsius. This drop in temperature leads to the formation of thick mist and frost. This season is practically dry. Next one is summer season. The apparent migration of the sun towards north during March, April and May results in the reception of vertical sunrise by South India. Thus, there is a steady rise in temperature from the equator. Hence, Tamil Nadu, located at the south of Tropic of Cancer, experiences high temperature. Generally, the temperature varies from 30 degrees Celsius to more than 40 degrees Celsius during this season, particularly in the month of May. Southern part of the state receives some rainfall from pre-monsoon showers, that is mango or blossom showers, and some parts experience a convectional rainfall. Next one, southwest monsoon. The intense heating of the landmass of the north by the sun during March to May creates a well-developed low pressure in North India, which draws wind from the Indian Ocean. This results in the formation of southwest monsoon. During this season, Tamil Nadu is located in the rain shadow region for the wind, which blows from the Arabian Sea. As a result, Tamil Nadu receives only a mere rainfall from this monsoon. Rainfall during this season decreases from west to east. Coimbatore Plateau receives an average of 50 centimeter rainfall. However, the southern districts like Kanyakumari, Tirunelveli and the Nilagiris record 50 to 100 centimeter rainfall during this period. The rainfall is scanty in the eastern part of the state. Then northeast monsoon. The northeast monsoon season commences from the month of October and lasts till mid-December. The high pressure created over Central Asia and the northern part of India becomes the sources for the northeast monsoon winds. The apparent migration of the sun from Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn cause of the change in receiving temperature and air pressure during this season. It makes the wind to blow towards Bay of Bengal from North India and get deflected by Coriolis force and takes the northeast direction. Hence, it is known as the northeast monsoon. As the northeast monsoon is a part of returning of southwest monsoon wind, it is also called as the retreating monsoon. This is the main rainy season for Tamil Nadu, accounting for its 48% annual rainfall. Coastal districts of the state get nearly 60% of their annual rainfall, and the interior districts get about 40 to 50% of the annual rainfall during this season. Tropic of cyclones are common during this season. Cyclone originating from the Bay of Bengal bring heavy rainfall to the east coastal regions of Tamil Nadu. More than 50% of the state's rainfall received from tropical cyclones during this period, and east coastal region receives 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall. The rainfall received by the central and north western parts is 50 to 100 centimeter. The cyclones sometimes disturb the cultivation of crops and cause severe damage to life and property. Next one we will see about soils of Tamil Nadu. The soils in Tamil Nadu are broadly classified into 5 types according to their characteristics. They are alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, laterite soil, and saline soil. Black soil. First one we will see about alluvial soil. This soil was formed by the deposition of silt by the rivers. It is found in the river valley region and the coastal plains of Tamil Nadu. Generally, this type of soil is found in the districts of Tanjavur, Thiruvarur, Nagapattinam, Viluppuram, Kadalur, Tirunelveli and Kanyakumari. It is also found to a small extent along the river valleys in the new few interior districts. Next one we will see about black soil. Black soil are formed by the weathering of igneous rocks. It is also known as a regur soil. As cotton grows well in this soil, it is also called as a black cotton soil. Black soils are found extensively in this district of Coimbatore, Madurai, Virudhunagar, Tirunelveli and Thoothukudi. Next one is red soil. Red soil cover over 2/3 of the total area of Tamil Nadu. They are found particularly in the central districts of the state. It is dominantly found in Sivagangai and Ramanathapuram district. Next one, laterite soil and saline soil. Laterite soil. The soil is formed by the process of intense leaching. Laterite soils are found in some parts of Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur and Tanjavur districts and some patches over the mountainous region in the Nilgiris. Last one is saline soil. The soils in Tamil Nadu are confined to the Coromandel coast. Vedaranyam has a pocket of saline soil. However, the tsunami waves on December 26, 2000 4 brought a lot of sand and deposited it along the east coast of Tamil Nadu. The tsunami made the coastal areas unsuitable for cultivation to a considerable extent. Next one we will see about soil erosion. Soil is a non-renewable resource. It is very difficult to replace the soil once it gets degraded. Deforestation, overgrazing, urbanization and heavy rain are responsible for soil erosion in Tamil Nadu. Soil erosion reduces the fertility of soils, which in turn reduces agricultural productivity. So it is necessary to take intensive care to conserve the soil resources. Next one we will see about natural vegetation. Okay, natural vegetation refers to the forest cover. Landforms, the nature of soil, temperature and rainfall are the major factors that control the distribution of natural vegetation. As per National Forest Policy 1988, a minimum of 1/3 of the total geographical area must be under forest cover. The total forest cover of Tamil Nadu is far lower than this. According to the Tamil Nadu State of Forest Report 2017 assessment, the area under forest in the state is 26,281 square kilometer, which constitutes 20.21 percentage of the total area. Tamil Nadu constitutes 2.99 percentage of India's forest cover. The forest types in the state varies from wet evergreen to scrub forest. Okay, we'll see about the forest type. That is type of forest. The forest in the state is broadly divided into 5 types as follows: tropical evergreen forest, montane temperate forest, tropical deciduous forest, mangroves forest, tropical thorn forest. Let's see one by one. Tropical evergreen forest. This forest type is found in the regions that receives heavy rainfall. It is a dense, multi-layered forest. It is found in the upper slopes of Western Ghats of Tirunelveli, Kanyakumari, Nilagiri and Coimbatore districts. The major tree species of this forest are cinnamon, Malabar ironwood, Panasa, Java plum, that is jamun, jack, kindal, aini and crepe myrtle. The semi-evergreen type of forest in the state is found over the region of subtropical climate over the Eastern Ghats. The prominent regions are Servarayan, Kollimalai and Pachimalai. Species of Indian mahogany, monkey tree, kulli, cassia, jack and mango trees are common in this region. Next one, mountain temperate forest. It is found in sheltered valleys of Animalai, Nilgiri and Palani hills over 1000 meters altitude. They are known as cholas. The trees in this forest are evergreen and usually short. Nilagiri champa, Litsi and rose apple are the common trees found in this forest. Next one, tropical deciduous forest. This type of forest lies in the margin of semi-evergreen and evergreen forests. The trees in this forest shed their leaves during the dry season. The trees reach up to the height of 30 meters. Some trees of this forest are silk cotton, kapak, kadamba, dog teak, woman's tongue, axlewood and cereza. Bamboos are also common in this type of forests. Some trees of this forest are economically important. Next one is mangroves forest. This type of forest is found in the coastal areas, rivers, deltas, tails of island and over sea faces where accretion is in progress. The vegetation is typically evergreen, moderate in height and has leathery leaves. The vegetation of this forest is adapted to survive in tidal mud and salt water. Asiatic mangrove, white mangrove, wild jasmine, that is Indian pivot, etc. are some of the notable trees of this forest. Pichavaram, Vedaranyam, Muthupet, Chatram and Thuthukudi are the places in Tamil Nadu where the mangrove forest is found to a considerable extent. Last one, tropical thorn forest. Thorn forest in Tamil Nadu is found where there is a little rainfall. These forests are found from plains up to 400 meters altitude. The common trees of this forest are rusty, acacia, beech, neem, and palm. Shrubs are common vegetation in this type of forest. This type of forest is found in the districts of Dharmaburi, Ramanathapuram, Virudhunagar, and some parts of the interior districts. Next one we will see about wildlife. Animals and birds live in forests constitute the wildlife. Tamil Nadu has a variety of wild animals, birds, and reptiles. Hills are an ideal refuge for elephants, bisons, tigers, deer, and monkeys. Several wildlife sanctuaries and national parks have been set up to protect the animal life in the state. For example, biosphere reserves in Tamil Nadu, Nilagiri Biosphere Reserve, Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve, Agasthyarmalai Biosphere Reserve. Tamil Nadu is a state with varied climate, landforms, and resources. This makes our state distinct one among the Indian states. In Tamil Nadu, if the available resources are utilized rationally, it may continue to be at top in the country. So it is the duty of every individual to strive towards achieving this goal. Natural disaster in Tamil Nadu. A sudden natural catastrophe that causes great damage or loss to lives and properties is called as disaster. According to United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction is the concept and practice of reducing disaster risks through systematic efforts to analyze and reduce the casual factors of disasters. This includes reducing exposure to hazards, lessening the vulnerability of people and property, wise management of land and environment, and improving preparedness and early warning for adverse events. Here we will discuss about the natural disasters in Tamil Nadu and the measures to be adopted before, during, and after different disasters. Okay, one by one we will see now. First one, but okay, first one we will see about landslide. Landslide. What is landslide? A collapse of a mass of earth or rock from a mountain or cliff is called landslide. Water is the most common trigger of a landslide. Nilagiri in Tamil Nadu is identified as one of the most vulnerable districts in the country, and landslides pose a major threat in this area. The other region which are prone to landslides are Coimbatore and Palani Hills of Dindigul district, where Kodaikanal Hill Station is located. What is the risk reduction measures before after? Okay, we will see about that. Before landslide, what we will do? Create awareness, stay alert and awake, monitor the news updates, make evacuation plan, listen for any unusual sounds that might indicate moving debris such as trees cracking, boulders knocking, and consider leaving the place of landslide if it is safe to do so. Then after landslide, what we will do? Stay away from the slant area. Listen to local radio and or television stations for the latest emergency information. Watch for flooding which may occur after a landslide or debris flow. Check for injured and trapped persons near the slide without entering the direct slide area. Next one we will see about flood. What is flood? Flood is a common one in the coastal districts of Tamil Nadu during northeast monsoon. The recent flood occurred in the state was in 2015. What's the risk reduction measures that in the flood time? Okay, before flood, know about relief centers and evacuation routes. Keep emergency phone numbers and important information. Fold and roll up things onto higher ground. Then during the flood, be quick, keep safe, and ensure that children and elderly are safe by leaving the house to a higher ground. Turn off all electrical appliances and gas. Leave the area before it's get too late. Do not drive through the water. Stay away from power lines or broken power transmission cables and try to keep away from flood water. Then after flood, make sure to get back inside your houses. Keep all power and electrical appliances off before it is okay to put them on, and wear appropriate dress before cleaning house, which is necessary to clean the contamination. Then cyclone. The coastal regions of Tamil Nadu are often hit by the tropical cyclones formed in Bay of Bengal during northeast monsoon. Occurrence of flood losses to lives and properties are the recurring one in the state. Based on the cyclone hit areas, the state of Tamil Nadu can be divided into five zones, namely very high, high, medium, low, and very low cyclone prone zones. Okay, risk reduction measures, cyclone time. Then before cyclone, ignore rumors. Stay calm. Don't be panic. Keep your mobile phones charged to ensure connectivity. Use SMS. Listen to radio. Watch TV. Read newspapers for weather updates. Keep your documents and valuable in waterproof containers. Prepare an emergency kits with essential items for survival. Secure your house. Carry out repairs. Don't leave sharp objects loose. Untie cattle or animals for their safety. Fishermen should keep a radio set with the extra batteries handy. Keep boats and rafts tied up safely and don't venture out in the sea. During the cyclone, take care of the old and young. Keep all family members inside the house. Switch off the all electrical appliances. Stay in empty room. Movable items should be kept securely tied. Try to keep help your neighbors, but don't go out during cyclone. Then after cyclone, those who shifted to the cyclone center must remain there till instructions are received. Strictly avoid loose electrical wires after the cyclone. Beware of snakes, and other animals immediately after the cyclone. Clear debris and carcasses from or near the premise after the cyclone and report losses truthfully and accurately to the authorities. Now we will see about drought. Tamil Nadu is a water deficit state. It is almost a regular one and not a seasonal one. It depends mostly on northeast monsoon for its rain. Its failure ends in disastrous. To manage the water deficit, rainwater harvesting and water conservation methods have to be implemented strictly. Next one, fire accident. Tamil Nadu is a tropical state. The high temperature during summer leads to occasional forest fire in the deciduous and thorn forest. Risk reduction measures before fire. Create a defensible space to separate your home from flammable vegetation and materials. Follow all local fire and building codes. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Use approved fire resistant materials. Make evacuation plans with family members, which include several options with an outside meeting place. During the fire accident, listen to radio, watch TV, read newspaper for updates. If adequate water or available, fill buckets with water. Turn a light on a room in case of smoke. Turn off gas and electrical appliances and be ready to evacuate all family members. After the fire accident, check with the fire officials before attempting to return your home. Use caution when re-entering a burned area. Flare-ups can occur. Check grounds for hot spots and check the roof and exterior areas for sparks and embers. Tsunami. Though tsunami is not a common one in India, its incident in 2004 alerted India and the state of Tamil Nadu on this aspect. Risk reduction measures. Tsunami time. Okay, before tsunami, if you live in a coastal area, know about tsunami risk and local warning arrangements. Develop household emergency plan. Know where the nearest high ground is and how we will reach it. During the tsunami, take our getaway kit. Don't travel areas at risk. Move immediately nearest high ground. If you can't escape tsunami, go to an upper story of the building or climb onto your roof or tree or grab a floating objects. Never go to the shore to watch tsunami and listen to local radio stations as emergency management. After tsunami, what we will do? Continue to listen to the radio. Don't return to the evacuation zone until authorities have given all clear. Check ourselves for injuries and get first aid and help others. Then last one is earthquake. India is a vast country which experiences many earthquakes at different periods. Generally, high risk zones of the country are located in the north and central parts. The state of Tamil Nadu is located in the moderately low risk zone. Risk reduction measures during the earthquake: take cover under a strong table or any other piece of furniture and remain under cover until the shaking stops. After the earthquake, proceed cautiously once the earthquake has stopped, and always avoid roads, bridges that might have been damaged by the earthquake. Okay, for the management of disasters in the state, the following forces and organizations are in the service: state and union territories organization, then district organization. You look at this table. Thank you, ma. You go through the lesson, you learn, look back questions and answers. Take care of yourself. Thank you. Bye bye.